Make sure we got that sorted. Alrighty, we are going to start standing up. Cold. All right, so I'm going to take the feet about 3 feet apart. Just going to bring the shoulders forward, and you're going to slide the blades together. Squeeze the blades together, and then round the shoulders forward, and then squeeze the blades. Keep the pelvis still. Keep the rib cage still, and just move the shoulders round and then back. Round, hold the torso really still as you take them back. Come back to center. You're going to interlink the hands. You're going to breathe in, bring the arms up, and exhale. Bring them down. Squeeze the buttocks. Breathe in up and exhale. Squeeze in and exhale down. So the important thing, is to squeeze those buttocks nice and strong. Good. Just keep going. That's it. Good. Just do 2 more. Breathe in up. Force that breath out. Breathe in. Come all the way up and exhale. Relax the arms down. So you're going to take the feet a little wider. Feet are in parallel facing forward. You're going to bring the arms up, interlink the hands. So you're going to bend into the right knee. Keep your spine in neutral. Come down and you're just doing a little lunge to the side. And then you're going to come back up and I'm going to arc to the left. Just the ribcage tips. Come back to center. Lunge to the right. Lift the navel as you come forward. Come back up to stand. And then a little arc to the left. Come back to center. Lunge. To stand. Arc to the left. Leave your navel and the hips centered. One more this side. Lunge. Push through that right leg. Navel, hips stay centered. Arc. Come back to center. Going to the other side. So you're going to bend the left leg. Lunge. Come back up. Navel stays centered, upright. Come back to center. Lunge. Come back up. And arc. 2 more on this side. Lunge. Come back up. Lift those left ribs to the ceiling. And last one. Good. And back through to center. Take the arms out to the side. Bring them down. And then you're going to turn the toes out to the side now. So just bring your bottom ribs in. Pull the tailbone down towards the floor. So you're going to slide the tailbone down to the floor as the arms come up. Take them out to the side. Bring them forward. Squeeze your sit bones together. Come up. Imagine you're sliding your spine down a wall. Keep the tail reaching to the floor. Keep the shoulders down and come up. You're going to do 3 more of these. Feel the bottom ribs pull in, the navel pull in. Open out to the side. Squeeze those sit bones together. As you come down, really stretch the inner thighs. Open the arms. Bring them in. Squeeze those sit bones. Last one. Come down. Open out to the side. Bring them in. Squeeze those sit bones together. Come all the way up. This time, come down into a little squat. Your hands can rest on your thighs. You're going to lift the right heel up and then lower. Lift the left heel and lower. Keep the ribs, the navel slightly in as you go from side to side. Do 3 more, so 2 more after this. Good. And then squeeze the sit bones together. Come all the way back up. Bring the legs back in. So feet, heels, bring the feet together. Come down a little squat. Hands onto the hips. Keep the left leg really still as the right leg glides out to the side and in. You're going to do 6. Glide it out and in. Navel draws in. Ribs slightly press back. And just glide out and in. Got 1 more. Bring it in. Come all the way to stand. Take a breath in and then exhale. Come down into your little squat. Stabilize into the right leg. Navel, ribs in. Glide the left leg out to the side. Good. Stay as steady in the standing leg as you can. Hold through the center. 2 more. Bring it in and come all the way to stand. So we're going to roll down here, heels under the sit bones. Lean your weight forward into the toes, soft knees, lean out, and then gently roll down through the spine. Feel like the inner thighs slightly draw towards each other. Keep the back of the thighs drawing in. Pull the tailbone down and stack back up, squeezing into the back of the thighs. Do 2 more here. So take your time. Lean forward into the toes. The knees are softly bent. The back of the thigh draws in. And roll over and down through each vertebrae, lifting the navel up. Keep the weight in the toes. Pull the tail down. Keep the weight forward in those toes as you stack all the way back up. And just in your own time, 1 more. Weight staying forward. Round over and down. Lift the navel. Hang the arms. Pull that tail down. Keep the weight in the toes. Really use those leg muscles, hamstrings, as you stack all the way back up. Great. So come down onto your hands and knees. Tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Lift the chest away from the floor, long neck, wide shoulders, and then slightly stick your tailbone out behind. Just get that lumbar spine into its neutral position. Let's do a couple of breaths here. So keep the chest lifted. Belly stays fairly steady. Breathe wide into your rib cage. And as you breathe out, close the ribs and feel the belly skin just draw in and up without moving your spine. Do 3 more of these. Feel the weight come forward into the fingertips a little so you're not resting straight down into the wrist. Good. So from here, on your exhale, just feel that belly skin draw in and up. You're going to slide the right hand forward, the left leg back. Pause with the tips of the toes and fingers on the floor. Keep the belly skin wrapped. Float the limbs up and down. Keep the hips and ribs drawing towards each other as you raise and lower the limbs. Feel your movement just in the sockets. Hold the torso really still and keep those hip bones nice and even. 1 more here. Lower down to the floor, slide them in and rest your weight into the hand and the knee. Slide the left fingertips out, the right toes. Pause, even up your hip bones, wrap the belly, and then lift and lower. Make sure you're squeezing the back of the thigh to lift the leg. The shoulder goes really wide, the collarbone is widening. And as you lift, feel the ribs and the hips pull towards each other. So really strong connection through the front of the body. 2 more. Make sure those right fingertips are gripping the floor. Lower down to the floor and slide the limbs back in. Take the hips back to the heels. Walk the hands around to the right side. See if you can keep that left sit bone pressing back slightly or the hip bones even. Relax your left shoulder. Breathe 2 long deep breaths into the side stretch. And then breathe in and slowly walk the hands around to the left side. Keep the hip bones even. Relax the right shoulder. Relax the head. Just gently draw the belly skin in and out as you exhale. And breathe in, come back to your center and come back up onto the hands and knees. Find that tabletop position. Lift the chest, wide shoulders, long neck, and let the tail slide out behind. So we're going to do tricep presses. Grip the floor with the fingers and then lean forward so your shoulders come over your fingertips. Just the elbows bend. As they bend, they feel like they draw towards each other underneath you. When you can't hold anymore, push up. So make sure the head's not dropping. The neck reaches long. Elbows bend and straighten. Just let it come fully into the arms, particularly the back of the arm as you push up. You'll do 3 more. So think about your alignment rather than trying to go too low. And just let the arms carry the weight. You do 1 more here. Oh, press up. Take the buttocks back. We're just going to do a stretch for those triceps. So you're going to slide the arms forward. Let the forearms go onto the floor and then let the sit bones reach back. You should feel a stretch right down through the arm. Forehead can go down onto the floor. If this feels comfortable, so your arms can be wide, or you can bring the hands together and interlink them. And then bring the hands up towards the head, stretching the elbows forward. If you don't feel enough stretch, walk the knees back a little and then take the hips back and feel like you're laying the back of the upper arm down to the floor. Just breathe here. Stretch from the shoulder to the elbow and just enough for your body. Take 2 more breaths. And then breathe in, lower the arms down to the floor. Bring the hands in and come back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to go to side lying from here. So you're going to lay onto your side. Just going to bend the arm and rest the hand in behind the head. Line up your shoulder and your hip. I have both legs bent to start with. So rather than just sagging down into the floor, I want you to press through the forearm or the elbow, the upper arm, and just slightly lift. So you're slightly pressing the head into the hands. If this feels uncomfortable, take your head down. Ribs tuck in, navel, lengthen through the side of the hip, hover the top leg, send it long, flex the foot, reach through your tailbone as the leg comes forward. Feel like this hip bone presses back. Point the toe, take the leg back and feel the lower belly really hollow in. Flex, come forward, feel this top hip bone, slightly press back without rolling back, and then bring the leg back and feel the lower belly hollow in, pull the ribs in. Flex them forward. Slightly press this upper arm into the floor so the arm is active and it activates your torso, you're not sinking down. You'll do once more each way. Good, come back to center, little circles. Reach this hip long, reach through the waist, hold the pelvis really still. Feel the hips and the ribs really pulling together. So pull these bones together to turn on the abdominals. And then go the other way. Stretch the leg even longer and really feel the movement is here, right in your hip socket. Ribs tuck in, navel in, tail really long. Just 2 more. Good, then we're going to hold here, flex the foot, little pulses to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the leg in, keeping the waist and the hip long, and then send it long again. Flex, little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend it in and rest it down. Relax the head down, just pummel into that buttock. So we're going to come up onto the forearm, elbow straight under your shoulder. Press the elbow down and lift the side of the body up, tuck the ribs in. Hand can be on the floor or down the side. We can do it with this leg out long. So you're going to breathe in and exhale. Pull the hips and ribs together as you lift up, and then breathe in to go down. So really pull those ribs down and draw the hip bones up to the ribs as you lift. You want to turn on all those abdominals. Good. If you like, you can bring the arm up and over. Gaze goes to the floor and the arm goes long. And then bring the arm down, look to the fingertips. Push through the elbow, lift. Gaze goes to the floor. And then bring the arm down and lower. Let's just lift the hips, take the fingertips on the floor, reach through this top leg. See if you can hover it up and down. We'll just do 4. Pull the ribs in, pull the hips and ribs together as you lift the leg. Really use the front of the body. Doesn't matter if you don't lift to the height of the hip, just lift it off the floor. Last one. And lower it down and rest all the way down. Roll onto your backs. Just take that leg you've been moving, cross onto the bottom of the thigh, hand onto the inner thigh, press the leg open, keeping the pelvis still, and release. As you press open, Feel like you're really externally rotating that thigh bone. Gets right down into the outer hip. Either pause here and hold, or bring the foot off the floor and fold the legs in. Just breathe here. Reach long through your tailbone. See if you can bring the small of the back down into the floor. Relax the rib cage. Just take one more breath here, softening into that buttock. And then release the leg, hold the sides of the thighs, push the legs away, roll up to sitting, and swing yourself back around the other way. So let's do the other side. So arm can be down and head resting, or bend it up and head rests in the hand. Bend the legs up, push through the upper arm or the elbow and slightly lift away from it. Reach your hip long, hand on the floor. Hover the top leg, ribs navel in, send the leg long. Flex the foot. Keep reaching through your tailbone as you bring the leg forward. Point the toe and hollow through the belly as the leg comes back. Flex, bring it forward. Keep pressing through the upper arm. Reach through the tailbone. Point and back. Feel these hips and ribs pull together as the leg goes back. Forward. Really activate the front of the torso as you take the leg back. Do one more each way. Come back to center. Reach the leg long, stretch the side of the hip, circle the leg. So the movement is here, above here in your waist, and your hip stays really still. Keep pressing through the upper arm. If it gets tired, straighten the arm out. Good, and then go in the other direction. Keep stretching the tail long. Pull the hips and rib bones together. Keep that spine in its neutral. One more here. Good, keep stretching through the side of the hip. Bend the leg in. Stretch it out long. Flex it and pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend it in. Stretch it long. Keep the ribs, the navel in. Flex and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the leg in and rest it down. Relax the arm. Pummel out that buttock. Come up onto your forearm. Elbow under the shoulder. Bend the knees up. Press through the forearm and lift the side of the body up. Bring the ribs, the navel in. Leg goes long. Hand can rest on the floor or down beside. Pull the ribs, the navel in and lift and lower. So as you lift, pull these hips and ribs together really strong through the front of the torso. Pull these together, lift and lower. We'll just do 2 more. You can take the arm over if you like. Gaze goes to the floor and gaze goes to the fingers as you come down. Make sure the shoulder stays wide. Keep it away from your head and lower down. Good. Press through the forearm. Lift the hips, fingers on the floor. Reach through the leg. Now pull the hips and ribs together as you raise the leg and lower. Stretch it really long. Pull these together and lower. Keep those ribs in. Last 2. Pull those ribs back. Lower down. Lower the hip. And rest onto your back. So take that leg you've been moving. Take the foot across onto the bottom of the other thigh. Take your hand onto the thigh. Press it open. Keep the pelvis still and release. And do that a couple more times. So you can go right down into those outer hip muscles. Press it open, either hold it and leave the foot on the floor or bring the foot off. Bend the legs in. Just allow the small of the back to come down into the floor and reach through that sit bone of the bent leg. Ribs relax down. Take 2 more breaths, softening into that muscle. And then lower the legs down to the floor. All right, let's come into some bridging. So set yourself up, feet hip width apart, knees, arms rest down beside you. Just rest towards your sacrum. Feel the small of the back with a little space under it. Start to smoothly roll through the spine. Really roll those hip bones towards your ribs. And then squeezing those buttocks, lift one vertebra at a time. Feel the buttocks continually squeeze and lift as the belly hollows down and the ribs sink down. Reach the tailbone really long and then start to roll down between the shoulder blades. Keep the buttocks squeezed, the pelvis lifted as high as you can the whole time as you roll down. Once you get that small of the back and the floor, then start to release and roll the sacrum down along the floor. One more of these. Follow each vertebrae up. Really roll those hip bones deeper to the ribs as you come through the small of the back. Keep squeezing the buttocks and lift each vertebrae, pulling the tail long. It's like you've grabbed it, you're pulling it long. The ribs stay relaxed, so does the belly. The buttocks are working really strong. And then roll down between the shoulder blades. Through the middle of the back, small of the back, really sinks down as that tail still lifts to the ceiling, and then start to let it go. When you come up this time, you're going to hold at the top. Roll through the vertebrae. Lift the tailbone as high as you can. Hip bones to ribs. Come all the way up. Keep your pelvis nice and still here. Pull that tailbone long and then open the legs out to the side. Roll onto the edges of the feet. Reach the tailbone. Bring the legs back to center. Roll out to the side and roll them back in. Keep these ribs down. They'll want to pop up. Pull them down. Pull them down. Squeeze the buttocks and press the pelvis up. Let's do 3 more here. Feels good in those glutes, hey? Last 2, keep reaching that tailbone. Keep the ribs settled and down. And last one. Come back to parallel and then heavy through those upper vertebrae. Keep the buttocks squeezed, pelvis lifted. Tailbone goes to the ceiling as that small of the back sinks in the floor. And then you roll all the way away to the tailbone. Beautiful. Take the legs over to the right and the head rolls to the left. Pause, take a breath, completely relax. And then bring the knees head to center, take the knees to the left and the head rolls to the right. Pause, completely relax. And then come back through to center. Let's bring the legs up into the air. Come over into either happy baby stretch or butterfly, feet together. Rock a little side to side. See if you can round the small of the back into the floor and massage the spine. Relax your shoulders. Come back to center and lower the feet down to the floor. So find your neutral spine. We're going to go into a bent knee fall out, one leg at a time, up in the air. So find that neutral, rest heavy into it. Belly lifts your right leg. Put your fingertips on your hip bones. Hold your pelvis completely still. Right leg opens out to the side. Hollow that belly between the hip bones and then bring the leg back in. Deepen or firm between those hip bones as the leg rolls out and roll it back in. So you can put your hand on your lower belly if you like. Feel it firm. Feel it hold your pelvis. Don't let it move. Stay completely rested, the same on the back of both hips and on the sacrum. You're going to do one more on this side. You might feel some little shaking going on as you go deeper into the nervous system and lower the foot to the floor. Sacrum nice and heavy. Left leg floats up. Knee above the hip, hips heavy, and then open the thigh out to the side, firm between those hip bones, and bring the leg back in. Firm those muscles as the leg rolls out, and bring it in. Make sure your back ribs stay heavy in the floor, and the front ribs come down as the leg rolls out. So no popping of the rib cage. Do 2 more here. Good. Last one, hold that stability. And bring the leg back through to center. Lower it down to the floor. Heavy sacrum, belly lifts the right leg. Sacrum heavy, belly lifts the left leg. Actually go into imprint here, so smaller the back down. Bring the knees in a little closer. So ribs stay down, arc the right thigh away in a femur arc. Pull those hip bones up towards your ribs and then bring the leg up. Ribs down, pull the hip bones to the ribs as you arc the left leg and come up. Focus on the connection through your torso, ribs down, hip bones come up towards the ribs. Feel that belly skin above the pubic bone draws down and lifts up towards the ribs. 2 more each side. Keep the right angle of the knee, the foot's really relaxed. As the thigh starts to roll away, pull the ribs down and pull those hip bones. Feel like you can feel them reaching up towards the ribs. Bring the legs up. Take the hands one on top of the right, both on top of the right shin. Smaller the back and the floor, ribs come down. Single leg stretch, left leg extends. Bring it in, switch the hands, pull the ribs down, right leg extends. Bring it in, switch, pull the ribs down. So there's no movement in your spine. When your ribs pull down, everything stays still in the floor. One more. Bring it in and lower the legs one at a time to the floor. Let's give them a little rock side to side. Take a nice full deep breath. So we're going to come into single leg stretch again. We're going to alternate the legs. Hold really still in your torso. Imprinted spine. Belly lifts your legs. Really pull those ribs down as you lift. Hands on top of the right shin. So ribs down, left leg extends. Breathe in and exhale. Switch the legs. Hands catch the left shin. Breathe in and exhale, switch. Keep the ribs pulled down the whole time. Feel the neck long, the base of the skull reaching, and the tailbone reaching long along the floor. So the legs switch without any movement through your torso. It's often the ribs that lift, so pull them down, and you should feel strong connection into the floor. Keep reaching the neck long, the base of the skull, the chin slightly down. Last 2. 1, 2, bring it in and lower the legs down to the floor. Take a nice big breath in and recenter into your neutral. Interlink your hands, cup them around the base of the skull, thumbs down the side of the neck, and lift the elbows. No movement below the navel, buttocks and thighs stay soft. Start to peel up the head, lifting the base of the skull. Roll through each vertebrae, taking the bottom ribs down towards the floor or towards the hip bones, and then roll back down. Peeling up, lift the base of the skull, keep space under your chin, ribs pull down and roll back down. So once the head is off, feel each vertebrae as you roll along that upper spine, really curve into that upper back, but maintain space between the chin and the chest. This time as you come up, use the belly to float the right leg so you can keep the quad and the crease of the leg soft, and then roll back down. So using the bottom of the rib cage, the belly firm, lifts the left leg as you peel up, and then roll back down. Feel the upper spine rounding up like a wheel. Belly floats the right leg. Pause here. Extend the leg out. Bring it in. Navel down. Little rotation to the left as the right leg extends. Come back to center. Roll down. Lower the leg to the floor. Peel up. Bottom of the rib cage. Belly lifts the left leg. Pause. Navel down. Leg extends. Bring it back in, navel down, rotate right, leg extends away. Come back through to center, roll down, lower the leg to the floor. One more each side. Peel out. I know it's hurting, Matilda. Navel down, extend the leg away. Bring it in. Little rotation to the left, extend the leg. Bring it all back to center, roll down, lower the leg. Work at those bottom ribs, lift the base of the skull, left leg, navel down, extend, Bring it in, navel down, little rotation, leg extends. Come back through to center and roll back down to the floor. Woo! Give those bottom ribs a little bit of a massage. Take a nice big breath in and breathe it all out. Great. So we're going to just roll straight over onto the belly. Let me check our timing. Perfect. All right. So we're going to go straight into a single leg kick. We'll do it with the head resting down onto the hands. So keep the pelvis in the floor and tip the tailbone back. The right foot flexes. Thigh stays on the floor. Kick the buttock twice, keeping the pelvis really still. 1, 2, extend the leg, hover the knee, reach it long, put it down. Press the pelvis down. Keep it really still. Flex and kick, kick, extend the leg and put it down. Press the pelvis, flex the right foot, kick, kick, extend, put it down. So the key is to press your pelvis down. Keep your torso really still. And just let it be in the back of the thigh, those hamstrings we're looking for. Just alternate side to side. Kick, kick, extend, and lower. Flex, kick, kick, extend, and lower. One more each side. Keep pressing the pelvis into the floor. Oh, take them all the way back and down. Rest the head, just bend your legs up. Take the feet and roll them around the ankles. And then go back around in the other direction. And then lower the legs down to the floor. Coming into dart, take the arms back beside you. Fingertips long, chin slightly down, but lengthen through the base of the skull. Now feel like you pull the hip bones up towards the ribs. Feel them want to connect underneath you. Keep pressing the pelvis into the floor. Reach your fingertips, peel up, breastbone goes forward, fingers reach long. Breathe in, widen, and exhale, roll back down. Bottom ribs are down, hips are still reaching towards the ribs. 4 more, peel up, really widen the chest, reach through your fingers, your toes, your tailbone, and then roll back down. Use your bottom ribs as an anchor. As you peel up, pull those hip bones up towards your ribs and press your breastbone forward as the fingers reach back, and then roll back down. So we're going to peel up, pull those hip bones to the ribs, reach the fingertips back, widen the shoulders. We're going to do the 100 here, holding neutral. So pulse, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll just do 2 more sets. Inhale, exhale, hip bones towards those ribs, keep pulling them up, reaching the tail long, finish your exhale and roll back down to the floor. Bring the hands under the head and just bend those legs up again. Gently rock them side to side, just relaxing through the pelvis. Great, take them down to the floor, coming into pre-swimming and swimming. So the arms go back to the side. Nice long neck, chin slightly down, base of the skull reaches. Tip the tailbone back, press your pelvis in the floor. So the hands stay on the floor, just peel up slightly, just so your nose has a little bit of space from the floor. Reach long through toes and fingers, raise right arm, left leg, and lower down. Press the pelvis into the floor as you lift. Pull the hip bones towards the ribs as you lift. Widen out your collarbone. Keep dragging those hip bones up towards the rib bones as you lift. Leg long and straight. You want to lift the back of the thigh without lifting the pelvis. This time, lift all 4 limbs. Little swimming arms and legs. Reach long through your toes and your fingers. Pull those hip bones up towards the ribs. Reach long through the base of the skull and widen those shoulders. Keep the connection through the front of the body and keep the length through the spine, both directions. Nearly there, swimming back to shore. And slowly lower down to the floor. Bring those hands under the head and gently bend the legs up. and move them around. Breathe nice and long and deep here. And then swing the legs around in the other direction. It's going to go into prone extension and up towards swan dive. 1. So hands beside the rib cage, tuck your elbows in and reach them back. Chin slightly down, hip bones towards the ribs, tailbone long. So peel to the bottom of the rib cage. You want to feel the breastbone stretch forward and the elbows reach back. Widen the chest and then roll back down. Just 2 more of these. So like a wheel turning, the neck stays long. Feel the breastbone reach forward. It'll bring those upper vertebrae in and curl that upper spine. Elbows reach back, shoulders wide, and then roll back down. Hip bones drag up towards the ribs and peel up. Just feeling those upper vertebrae extend and maybe curve a little. Come back down. Just rest the head to the side for a moment. Take a few nice deep breaths. This time we're going to come up to the pubic bone. You're going to press it in the floor. You're going to be in your buttocks, not your lower back. Really work towards that. Nose to center, elbows in. Press the pelvis. So peel to the bottom ribs. Now squeeze your butt. Press the pelvis in the floor and keep peeling up. Pull the hip bones back. Really squeeze those buttocks. Hip bones press back. Arms don't go to straight. And then you're going to slowly roll down. Keep squeezing the buttocks. And as the rib cage comes down, or the chest, the buttocks release slightly. Still pressing the pelvis. Peel to the bottom of the rib cage. Now press the hip bones back, the tail back, and peel up. Elbows stay tucked in and pull the tailbone down to the floor. And then slowly rolling down. Arm strength, buttock strength. 2 more. Slow in your own time, peel to bottom ribs and then consciously pull the tailbone back, press the hip bones back. Keep those elbows tucked in as you come up. So there's no compression of your lower spine. Last one. If your wrists get sore, do it on your forearms. Squeeze those glutes, press the pubic bone into the floor, and then roll back down. Oh, take the arms under the head, bend the legs, lazy little swing here. And then coming into a quad stretch. So left arm under the head, right leg bends, either finger in your legging or sock or catch your foot. Tip your tailbone back. So feel once again like you bring your hip bones up towards your ribs, pull them up, and bring the front of the pelvis down in the floor, the front crease of the leg down in the floor. Don't worry about bringing the heel to the buttock. Just see how much you can bring those hip bones up towards your ribs. Almost feel them dragging towards each other. So I want to feel the stretch through the front of the hip all the way down to the thigh, to the knee. One more breath here. Just melt those quads and then release the leg. Switch to the other side. So once you've caught the foot, then think about dragging the hip bones up towards the ribs. Really pull, particularly the foot that you've got caught, that hip bone. See if you can pull it up to your rib cage. That's more important than the heel going to the buttock. Drag it up and find that length right down through the hip flexor. One more breath here. And then release the leg and lower it down to the floor. So you're going to take the hands beside the rib cage, tuck the elbows in, come into prone extension, press that pelvis, hip bones towards ribs as the breastbone goes forward, and then pull that tail down, peel up to the pubic bone, and then lift to the knees. Keep pressing the hip bones back, and then take the hips back to the heels. Rest on your forearms and gently roll side to side. Good. All right, let's just do a little hamstring and hip flexor stretch here. So step your right foot up beside your right hand. Slide the left knee back a little just to feel a stretch here. Hands on the floor or tent the fingers the inside of your right foot. You're going to squeeze your left buttock and press the front of the left hip forward. A little bit like we just did before. Tailbone goes down, shoulders relax. Feel like you want to push this left thigh down onto the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the navel draw back towards the spine. And then straightening into the hamstring. Take the hips back. Feel the heel reach into the floor. Just bend it off slightly. Come back into it. Do that once more. So moving those hamstrings. This time, feel like the right sit bone reaches towards your left heel and pull the sit bone back. Breathe into the stretch, relax your shoulders. And then gently release. Take that right leg back and breathe in. Step the left hand up beside, left foot beside your left hand. Knee over the ankle, slide the right leg back, squeeze the right buttock, press the front of the hip forward, and pull the tailbone down. Feel like you want to bring that right thigh down into the floor, widen your shoulders. And then take the hips back, stretch the hamstrings, release, just move it a couple of times forward and back. And then come back and hold, heel presses into the floor, left sit bone swings towards the right heel. And stretch the heel into the floor as the sit bone reaches back. And then breathe in, release. Come back onto the hands and knees and come through to sit. We'll do a few sitting ones and some arcs. So legs out long, feet about as wide as the outer sides of the hips. If you need to, bent knees is fine for your hamstrings, or sit up on a cushion. Bring the arms out, roll the shoulders back and down. So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, hollow through the tummy, pull the bottom ribs in and round over through that upper spine. Keep the shoulders down, breathe in and exhale, stack back up. Take a breath in, exhale, really hollow through here. Press those ribs back. Use your belly muscles to lift that lower spine up and over. And then breathe in, stack back up. Do two more. Really hollow the belly. Navel presses to spine. Bottom ribs press back and up. And stack back up. And last one. Hollow, lift up and over. Bottom ribs back. And stack back up. Release the arms down to the floor. Take them out to the side. Going into rotation. Reach through the soles of the feet. Navel in, rotate to the right, breathe in and exhale, come around to the left, breathe in, grow the spine tall and exhale to the right. Inhale, sit bones, press in the floor and exhale around. Breathe in, press the sit bones down as you grow tall. This time come around and into soar, so rotate, hollow, round over, pull those shoulders down, gaze to the back hand. Breathe in, come to center. Exhale, rotate and over to the other side. Inhale to center. Navel in, exhale, rotate and over. Breathe into center. Last one. And over. Keep the neck long, the shoulders wide. And come back through to center and relax the arms down. So coming into mermaid arcs. You can either take the feet out to the right side, the legs out to the right side, or right leg is long, left leg bent, or loose cross, or two butterfly or straight legs. So just put your legs wherever it's comfortable for you. So now you want to be able to sit and keep your pelvis still. Arms come out to the side, nice wide shoulders and the ribs slightly in. Bring the arm up, arc over, lifting the right ribs to the ceiling. Breathe in and exhale over to the other side. Keep the shoulder down, lift the ribs. Breathe in and exhale over, shoulder down, lift the ribs. Inhale and exhale over. One more each side. just the rib cage. Tip it over, lift those ribs to the ceiling. This time come over, rotation, bring the arm down and bring the left ribs around as the right ribs go back, reach the fingers, unwind slightly, and then rotate again. Pull and release. And last one, navel in, rotate the rib cage, unwind, arc, back up and over to the other side. And come back to center. Release the legs. Take them to the other side or any variation of legs that works for you. You could also sit on a cushion under your right buttock. So stabilize here. Arms come out. Left arm up. Keep it away from the head. Arc over and lift the ribs up. Breathe in and exhale up and over to the other side. Lift the ribs. Keep the navel slightly in, so you want to hold steady in the base. And just arc the rib cage over to the side. Good. One more each way. Lift those ribs to the ceiling. And, whoops, this, yep. And we'll stay over on this left side. Bring the arm down and rotate. And reach those fingertips, unwind slightly, and then go round again. And one more time, release, and then pull those right ribs around, left ribs back. Unwind and arc back over to the right side. Come back to center. Release those legs out. Give your knees a little bit of a massage. Just checking on the time. Good. All right, so we're going to do some nice slow roll downs. So hold the sides of the thighs, nice wide shoulders. Tail is going to tuck under. Scoop through the belly. Come back as far as you can, really rounding. Pull those ribs down. When the feet don't stay on the floor anymore, let them start to come with you, but slowly lay that spine down along the floor. And then press the legs away, tuck in those bottom ribs, keep reaching the feet to the floor, shoulders come over hips, stack tall. Do 3 more of these. Really go as slow as you can, stay right in the belly, keep the thighs and the creases of the legs soft, really sink those bottom ribs down. Lay the spine along the floor, let the arms bring the legs. And then press the legs away, peel the head, stay really round, press those bottom ribs to the back of your shirt and stack. Do 2 more. If you need to push to come up, do. Use a cushion if you need to. Get this smooth rolling. It's best to use a cushion, keep it really smooth. And last one, press those legs away. Pull in those bottom ribs and round up. Great, so we're just going to go into a relaxed roll and then full rolling if you want to. So feet on the floor, round back, and just let the legs come off, roll back, bring the legs in, push them away and roll up. Roll back, let the legs come off, round them over, and then press the legs away and come up. So stay with that. Or sit behind the sit bones, hold the back of the thighs, bring one foot off the floor, then the other, gaze to the belly. So stay really round like a ball, roll to the shoulders and roll up. See if you can roll through the sacrum, the small of the back, and then through the rest of the spine. Keep your gaze on the belly the whole time. And keep those ribs pressing back. Last 2. And come all the way back up. Very nice, team. We're just going to come into a butterfly stretch here. So bring the feet in towards each other, scoop through the belly, round over and relax forward. So your torso be nice and heavy. You're going to breathe into the back of the rib cage. And as you breathe out, draw the belly skin in and up. Lift the navel to the ceiling and lift the bottom ribs up to the ceiling. So we just want to really create that roundness through each vertebrae of the spine. See if you can feel through the lumbar area. Round it out and press those abdominals back and up. One more breath. And then breathing in, slowly stack your way back up through the spine. And bring the legs in. We're going to lay down onto the mat. Stretch out these hamstrings. So left foot stays bent, right leg comes up into the air. Arms relax down beside you, back of the rib cage heavy. So don't go too strong on the hamstrings yet. We want to pull the toes down and then press them towards the ceiling. So heel goes up and then toes press. As the toes go down, just take the chin back slightly. And as the toes go to the ceiling, let the chin nod down. Heel goes up, head goes back. And then toes press, chin comes down. So feel like you're flossing through the whole of this side. Do one more. Stay really relaxed in that upper body. Leave the chin down this time and circle the foot around. And then go round the other way. Now we're looking for the hamstrings. So the fingertips can rest on the hip bones. Back of the hips heavy. Reach the heel away. If you already feel enough stretch, stay there. If you feel like there's more, without lifting the hips or the ribs, press the heel towards the ceiling a little more. Keep those hip bones even. Relax the back of the rib cage and the spine towards the floor. Reach through the tailbone, reach through that right sit bone. So really long lower spine, long through the back of the leg, toes drawing down. Slide the left leg out long, keep the back of the hip on the floor so the hip bones stay facing the ceiling and the leg goes across to the left. You can draw towards your head if you need a little bit more tension. Keep the back of the right hip pressing down, hip bones to the ceiling. Oh, feel that lovely stretch. You can move the toes, point the foot, and then press the heel. So move it back and forward, or you take it round in a circle. And then bring the leg back to center. Lower it down, leave the foot on the floor and bring the left leg in. Bring the leg up. Draw the toes down towards you and then point them away. So go back and forward. Take the foot around in a circle. And then back around in the other direction. Come back to center, looking for hamstrings now, back of the hips heavy and even, toes draw down, heel reaches to the ceiling. If you need more, keep the ribs and the hips heavy and just straighten into the leg a little more. Draw the kneecap up or draw the kneecap down towards you. Reach the heel away. Reach long through the tailbone, through that left sit bone. And then slide the right leg out long. Bring that left leg across, keeping the back of the left hip heavy. Pull the leg towards you if you need to. Circle the foot or take the foot forward and back. Just give you a little bit more tension in there. And then bring the leg back to center and lower it down to the floor. Let's have the we're going to just do finish with a book opening stretch. So kind of come onto your side. Line up the shoulder and the hip, bend up the knees, feet and knees stacked, and interlink the hands behind the head. Rest the head down and bring that top elbow down. So you're going to keep the knees together. Breathe in, the top elbow to the ceiling, and exhale as you rotate around that upper spine and open that top rib cage back. Head rests in the hands, either on or off the floor. Breathe into the stretch and exhale. Rotate back, bring the elbow over and down. Breathe in, elbow goes to the ceiling, roll the head into the hands, take those ribs and open them back. Feel the rotation of the upper spine. Keep the knees together, take a breath and exhale, navel in and rotate the rib cage back. So I'm going to open and hold, elbow to ceiling, navel in, rotate around the spine, pause, take 2 or 3 breaths, opening through the armpit, through the front of the chest, and exhale, bring the elbow over, navel in as you come all the way back and over. And then doing the other side. So roll onto your other side. I'm just going to flip end to end so you can still see. Shoulder and hip lined up. And then when you're ready, take the top elbow to the ceiling and rotate around the spine. Keep the knees stacked and the hips stacked, and then rotate back. So you also should feel maybe a little stretch across that lower back. Keep the knees and the hips stacked, the top hip bone slightly presses forward, and then you get that nice opening across the chest and roll back over. And last one, we'll hold this time. So opening, rotating around that upper spine, press the knees together, keep the hips stacked. Really open those top ribs. And then bring the elbow back and over and rotate back. Let's roll onto your backs. Coming into a nice little relaxation. So you can rest the knees against each other if you like, legs bent, or slide them out long. Let's take a nice long deep breath and wriggle around till the body feels really comfortable in the floor. Hands can rest on your body or down on the floor beside you. Just breathe long and deep through the body. Let your bones be heavy. And just let all your muscles and your tissues relax. Feel the vibrations and sensations going through you. Relax into them deeper. Movement in the cells, the movement of the fluids through your muscles and your connective tissue. Let the body just reorganize itself, resettle, flush out, clear, and rebalance. Just relax into the flow of your breathing. Just really soften through your face, your scalp, through your skin, through your joints. And then slowly take a nice deep breath in through the nose, down into the belly, let it rise, fill up through the rib cage. Breathe out, softening belly, rib cage. Let's do that a couple of more times, really filling, expanding, opening, and sighing, yawning, or breathing it all the way out. Bend the knees into the chest, one hand on each knee. Take them round in a circle, massage around the small of the back. And then take the legs around in the other direction. Come back to center and lower the legs down to the floor. Roll to your side. Slowly bring yourself up to sitting. Sit comfortably. Just give your shoulders a little roll. Move your spine gently around. Looking for those movements in the bones and the joints. Pause at center. Take a nice big breath in and breathe it all out. And we'll just come to standing and finish off with one more roll down. So bring yourself all the way up. Just bring your heels under your sit bones. Just give yourself a little shake out. Loosen everything off. And then come into that neutral alignment. Bring your weight forward into your toes. Soft bend in the knees. Pull into the back of the thighs. Lean out so the hips stay over the ankles. And then round over. Following in the ribs. Lifting the navel, bend the knees as you need. And when you come up, keep the hips over the ankles and pull the tailbone down. Belly presses back, ribs press back, stack all the way up and roll the shoulders back into their place. Take a nice big breath here and breathe it all out. Beautiful. Thank you, people. I'll just unmute you. Be nice just to chat. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't
hear you.
Yes, yay.
The security number to go.
I've unmuted you. Start
What
video.
did you say, Sally?
They stopped that, eh? They stopped that because people were laundering money that way.
How was that?
Lovely,
it was
thanks,
good.
Sam.
Really good.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. Nice to have you on, Di.
Can you see me? I still can't work this thing properly.
No, hang on.
We can't.
Oh,
Uh,
is that Di from Taupo?
yeah.
Matilda.
Oh, hi,
Hey,
Hi.
Can you
Di.
see
Nice to hear you.
Tone.
Di, can you see your little video icon? It'll have a red line through it.
No, I can only see the little, wait a minute, video.
Down on the bottom left.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Push on it.
Yeah, I've done that.
Hey,
you
you
are.
are.
Now we can see you.
Now we can see you.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Hey, we'll see
Thanks,
you.
Anne.
Okay.
Hey, it's not all bad with lockdown if I get to see you.
No. There's a silver line.
Very good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. See you again
Thank you.
today, and I'll see you again.
Yeah.
See you Friday.
Yes, thanks
Okay.
very much, Anne.
Bye, Anne.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'll still be on Friday too, on Zoom.
Yeah. So
Yep.
today, tomorrow, and Friday, and
Yep.
I'll continue if we stay in lockdown. I'll just continue.
Yeah, so I'll just pay you. I can just put it in your bank account, or hopefully I'm going to see you next Friday.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Whatever works.
Okay, thanks, Anne.
See
Okay,
you.
bye.
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 See you. Nice to see you, Di.
Bye, Matilda.
See you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.